what it is, and what it is another live episode of Cardboard Conversation. That's right. I'm Pat. We got Bob tonight, and thank you everybody for joining us this evening. Hello.
Yo, good to be back. I've been gone for a couple weeks. In case you can't remember, I took 2 weeks off now.
Oh, right. Yeah, it has been a hot minute, huh?
So I'm glad to be back. Glad to see everybody there in the audience. Mrs. Hillbilly. Glad to have everybody else that's joining us. If you're sitting there quietly, or if you join us ex post facto, it has still been beyond our vacation. An interesting week in Magic, but maybe we should touch on your trip here, since it's our first show since your trip to the terrible Cleveland area.
Absolute atrocious, fun trip. I really did have a lot of fun. Flew out, got to see my two buddies that I do the podcast with, Matt and Bob, and got to enjoy all sorts of different stuff while I was out there. Not just Magic the Gathering, a couple other trading card games we were able to play, along with quite the plethora of board games. I don't know if I've played that many board games in my life, much less like all in one concentrated weekend. So had lots and lots of fun. Get to hang out, see some of the local haunts and stuff. Got to check out the local LGSs down in that area. So super fun time. It was a blast, trying to put together kind of a traveler's blog style video. Oh, how he misses his Uncle Pat. And I miss that little bugger. He was a fun doggy. Nice fella. Yeah, trying to get together like a traveler's blog style video, doing a little editing behind the scenes for that, and coming together well. So I'd like to share that with the audience, but only once it's ready,
It was a pleasure hosting you, and for the audience, we played some board games like Legendary Alien. We played the Ursula from Lorcana PvE format. Can't remember what it's called. The Illuminator's Quest, I think, is what it's called. I don't know why that's not doing so well, because to me, it's probably my favorite way to engage with Lorcana.
Yeah, probably.
We also got to play a rather, I don't know if you want to call it exclusive, but it's very difficult to get your hands on a copy of what's called Dark Side Rising. Don't even know how to qualify that game as to what it is, but there's something similar called Thanos Rising. It's kind of like a dice builder, if you will. And some other games. It was a good time. It went way too quickly for me. Enjoyed having you here, and not just for Magic, but for everything. It really highlights for me that the magic is in the gathering of anything. Doesn't matter whether it's Magic the Gathering, Lorcana, board games, just getting together with friends. It was a good time, and I highly encourage that more people focus on that aspect of gaming, that what makes the world go around is other people. So if you go to a con, if you have a group, try to get together. It's fun to play online, but it's better to play in person.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as great as an addition that Spell Table has been, there is nothing quite like sitting across the table and actually turning cards with a friend or a new enemy, that's just as good. And I think that, hanging out with Matt and his pod was a great experience for me as well. So, really enjoyed it. There were so many different aspects that I'm glad we didn't spend every moment setting up tripods and cameras, that it was a lived-in adventure more so than just, content creator weekend.
Well, fellas, sorry I'm late.
Hey,
I think your
glad
video
to have you.
It sure did. It's back.
Look who's back.
It's using the wrong camera.
Hey, don't feel bad, Matt. I also just recently woke up, so.
Well, I'm dealing with contractors for my porch and my garage, and getting quotes and trying to figure out, who's going to be the very best that ever built a porch. The pricing quotes were ridiculous, man. Anywhere between $3,600 to $16,000. So it's so difficult to know who's the right person for the job. But I went with the cheapest guy because he seemed like he wants to earn future customers, and he's willing to do it cheaper because he's just a guy. He's not like a business or anything. He's a general contractor.
Oh, there you go.
Yep, we'll see.
I had a similar thing that you guys aren't even aware of, but our heater went out yesterday.
Oh, dang.
And It's a fairly simple part. Maybe it went out even before that, but I mean, it's been a journey trying to find reliable and trustworthy handymen or mechanics or anything of that nature. And the best advice I can give, not necessarily go with the cheapest, go with your gut. If you get a sketchy feeling about somebody, I think you're probably going to regret it.
Yeah, if you feel weirded out by somebody, don't allow them in your house. Yeah.
I'm just saying, you're going to know those guys that are overcharging, just like we had to have a drain replaced in a shower pan up above, but we didn't have to have the drain replaced. It was leaking into our kitchen and rotting out the ceiling. So a guy came in and quoted like $900 to replace a drain. Well, $6 later with a drain wrench, after looking at some YouTube videos and some plumber putty, yeah, it was fixed. No $900 and some odd dollar drain being installed. So
yeah, plumbers are ridiculous. Everyone I've ever talked to is overcharged.
It's such a mixed bag. And then we had people come in and try to fix the ceiling, repair the ceiling from Angie's List. I'll never use Angie's List again. And they did a terrible job. So I went behind them, and it's just such a mixed bag. But it makes it, for all you youngsters out there, makes it worthwhile. Once you find trustworthy people like mechanics, like HVAC, like the general contractor that Matt's going to be looking at, it's important still in this world, keep their number handy. Find people you trust. It's as good as gold.
Yeah, good call, Matt. One of the things
I got it.
One of the things, Bob, is similar to that. Recently, I also had a very tumultuous experience with some online services, and I think a lot of folks did. You're giving a shout out to one of the cards there in the background as a bonus to the Marvel Secret Lair. That's kind of the big news of the episode. Might as well dive right in. Similar to Angie's List, their website kept crashing, and if it wasn't for the assistance of some other folks, I don't know if I would have been able to check out. I was in line for hours and hours queued up. What was your experience, fellas?
Well, I happened to wake up and save everybody's day.
Honestly, I gotta send you.
Honestly, Matt, big. I don't know how much we want to get into. I thought some of this we didn't want to.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, you can victimize us if you want. I don't really care at this point.
Thank you. I've been wanting to talk about it. I didn't talk about it because you specifically said you didn't want to.
I mean, I'm right. Jake and Joel released a video, and they talked about the link that they were like basically just gave to their patron chat. They got fucking demonized about it. That was the only thing people cared about in the video. But I don't really care. I think our chat and our audience are less. We have less people, so there's less chance of that happening. But TLDR, there was a link that allows you to bypass the line of the secret lair. So like you could just go straight to checkout. But so there's a couple things about that. That's not against terms of service. That line has existed for every secret lair in the past. Apparently, they did finally fix it, but. There's also another thing you could have done because there was two secret lairs happening at once. You could have went to the other secret lair, added that to your cart, went to checkout, and then went back and added Marvel, and then you could have still checked out as well. So there was like multiple ways to get around the line. But yeah, I was shared a link. I happened to like just randomly wake up for like, what was it, 20 minutes into the secret lair, and I saw like I got a from our Discord that there was like a link to bypass it, and Bob and Pat were talking about being in a line, and I'm like, well, I've got this link. If you guys want to give it a shot, I'm gonna try it, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and it worked. So
I have a few things to say about that myself. I watched both those Jake and Joel videos. I talked to them behind the scenes. I personally thank them.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, call me a disgusting, what do they call it? Scalper flipper? First of all, if you watch this show at all, that's ridiculous for me because it's missing half of that component, which is selling cards. I don't do that. At any rate, I was waiting in line and I had two queues open. You guys didn't even know this. I had two different browsers with two different accounts with the queues. I let one continue to go. By the way, you guys didn't know this behind the scenes. According to Jake and Joel's video, they showed links on the WotC home site that tells you how to do the line jumping. Literally instruction on WotC's site of how to do exactly that. I don't know how that would be against terms of service if they literally give you the instructions of how to do it themselves.
That's why I said
What it means
it's
is,
not against it.
what it is people, and you may not like to hear this, surprise, surprise, shocker, Bob saying something people don't like, but it means that you didn't know. It means that you probably missed out, and you're probably butthurt about it. And I don't blame you for being butthurt about it. Like, I think the anger is pointed in the wrong direction if you're pointing it at people like Jake and Joel or us for using the available means, which is on their website, which, helped us get some product. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the one that I did the line jumping, I got some product, right? And none of us got the bonus card, by the way.
Nope.
Even though I had over $1,000 worth in my cart. But there's a bigger problem, and where the anger should be pointed is at WotC or ScaleFast or whose ever fault it is that is not combating the bots. Bots ruin so many different things out there, not just WotC and their secret layers, but they, it's a big issue with many places, right, for botting, and they need to come up with more anti-botting measures, right?
Oh, yeah.
These things all go into databases. It would be easy enough to say, I'm not sending, 500 orders to the same address. You've exceeded your limit to this address, right? And they should say
there's not even a CAPTCHA. Like there's literally no anti-botting. It's crazy.
Amen. That's what I'm saying. That's where the anger should be pointed, is at the folks that are allowing the bot, because it's not people like us that get in there and ruin it. It's the bots that are buying. We saw one of them had like 31 of the arcane signets.
31 arcane signets.
And that's probably on just one of their accounts, right? They probably have multiple accounts, and they got in there super fast and used those methods that just even we were unaware of. So be thankful.
Apparently, there was like a developer's option as well. You could
there's multiple
like 12. There's like 3 or 4 different options to go to bypass the line. It's like, what the fuck's the point of the line? Just to screw people over at that point?
Well, I don't think so. I think it's something that they expected to go well that didn't. It's very common. I'm a developer myself, and you see it all the time where things just don't go well. This is probably the third time I've seen this. The same shit happened in the M30. There was a line. There are other secret layers, just like what was it? Not Doctor Who, but the Monty Python.
Oh, right.
That people couldn't get in.
Yeah.
There was a line for the other one that we were in as well. What was the one we were all waiting in? It wasn't as bad though. It was only like 20 minutes.
I don't know, but I'm just saying that they have problems that they need to address. Technically speaking, don't bash on the people that get
not handle that. And I think that's 100% is if it lasted twice as long, if there was 100% more supply, if instead of 5 hours to break down their website and sell out their entire product, if it lasted the majority of a single day, I think there would be far less blowback across the board about this Marvel Secret Layer mishap, this Marvel-ous disaster that we've got on our hands here.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
My only frustration is that we can't depend on anything they fucking do. One secret layer is available for 3 months. The next secret layer is available for 3 hours. It's like they you just don't know what you're buying. You don't know if you need to rush to set an alarm to wake up at the right time, because I work third shift. So I don't know. It's frustrating.
And I think the printing qualms that we're having, specifically to your point, I think that the reason they're doing some of this limited print run versus print to demand, and in no concise manner, it's so back and forth from one set to the next, I think it's on purpose to have an uninformed audience just absolutely go all in on the pixel perfect secret layer, which nobody cares about,
which is still up.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, to that point, I mean, I have a lot of thoughts on this. First of all, I don't think it's a bad thing to make things collectible again. I think having hype and driving that much desire and demand for the product is a good thing. I think where it landed in the hands of bots is a bad thing, right? That is definitely a bad thing. So they can take some good and bad away from this. I have no problem with some being print to demand and some being limited quantities. And the reason that they make the limited quantities, I can tell you right now, they print it ahead of time, right? It's already off the printers. They schedule their. This goes back to our old argument about how they're just printing so much crap that they can't really schedule time appropriately at the printers for things. And this is one of those things that they wanted to get it out there and get some hype before the Christmas holiday, before the end of the year. Bring the numbers up, because you guys pay attention to the Q3 results, not stellar for Magic. And they predicted that it'll Mr. Cox, he said that it would be either negative or flat by the end of the year for Magic.
So a bad exit to the annual year here.
So they wanted some sort of win, and they
yeah, I mean,
for sure sold out. They created the hype and sold out, but it's not so much that specific fact. I'll be honest with you. I would do a couple of things on these limited quantities. You get one of each SKU. That's it. Limit for a household. They scrape their database, and they will not deliver more than one of each SKU to a single delivery address. Now, if you want to make a bot fit with 50 different, addresses that you're going to go pick up mail from, and you're going to go to that length, God bless you for that amount of effort with 50 different mailboxes. That'll get expensive. But, I don't think they're doing that. I don't think they're scraping the database and saying, wait a minute, you've already exceeded your limit for this household. And you see that in other things. Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They won't limit you on your credit card. They're not limiting based on anything, right? Just your account, right? So that really needs to be addressed. In essence, the responsibility for the poor delivery of the product falls squarely on WotC. What a surprise. And I'm not just trying to bash WotC, but that's where it really lies. Not with Jake and Joel, not with people that figure out, oh, hey, this exists out there. Now, unless you're hacking them, which is an illegal thing to do, well, then that's a problem, right? And that should be addressed legally. But allowing it and even telling people how to do it multiple ways on your own website, don't get mad at people for doing it. And those aren't the people that prevented you from getting copies. It's the people that are botting and getting 500 copies of it that are the problem. So
and
that needs to be fixed.
People getting 500 copies. Let us know your opinion in the new poll we've got in our chat. If you're here live with us, let us know your opinion by putting either a comment or voting in the chat. Did Wizards of the Coast have a disaster on their hands with this one?
I don't want to call it disaster. It's good and bad points. I think it's a good thing to have this amount of hype.
Up, Fiddler?
What do you guys think? I think that's a good takeaway. That hey, I mean, they're still hyping Magic. I think that's good.
For me, I don't think this was an unmitigated mistake. I do not think this was a disaster. Definitely just put a hype title, but realistically, it could have gone a lot better. I'd say 6.5 out of 10 on the execution. That's my overall opinion on this. The cards, phenomenal. Really good card selection. I think their thematic crossover was great. The bonus card sheet that we're going to get into here in a minute, really interesting selection there as well. I think that not enough people got the product, and that's the biggest issue to me. Is
and I feel bad for them. I mean, let's be straight. I don't know about you two, but I feel terrible for people that didn't get any. By the way, that second account I had logged in that waited legitimately through the entire queue, I did tell you guys because I posted it to Matt. I think
I was in the line as well. I left that open. It was sold out by the time
like 1 minute before I got in, the last Black Panther sold out. Yeah. Literally, it said less than 90 seconds, and then Black Panther sold out. I
think it was a disaster, personally. Like, there were people that not only was the lines and they were skipping over the lines, but there were people that were in queue waiting, and they were in queue from the get-go, and then for some reason it kicked them out of the line, and they had to rejoin the line from a later date. There was the arcane signets were not limited at all to any order. As long as you just every $200 you just got one, so you can get 31 in an order.
Why didn't they print enough arcane signets for every $200 worth of product? That's what I'm
arcane signet picture was bad. Not enough quantity. The website had some stability issues for some people.
There
was just a lot of different small things that I think add up to make it a disaster, in my opinion.
I don't know about disaster, but I would say because what was a disaster to put it in a frame of reference were those mythic editions. I don't know if you're all aware of that back in 2018 for War of the Spark. where they actually issued uncut foil sheets. Dual Brain got one because they just really effed up. That was a disaster. Taking people's money, not giving them the product. Oops, I'm sorry, having to refund money. I don't think that's what we're seeing here. So I don't want to say it's a complete disaster.
Took our money. Yeah.
Well, I'll say they also shipped it like I might be here in 2 days. Pat's will be here in a couple days,
and that's why it was limited quantity
already. I live in the middle of freaking nowhere in Vermont, and it got to my post office this morning. If I had known about it, I would have gone down and picked it up. I think I could have gotten that in hand today, which is wild because it's still considered pre-release on TCG Player until I believe the 15th.
Well, I don't.
Yeah, because that was our announced date for shipping. Yeah.
So, if I had to give it a score like you did, Pat, I definitely would not say 6.5. That would mean better than average. I would say this is like a 2.5 to a 3 because at least people got in, they got their product. It's
you don't consider a 2.5 or a 3 a disaster? What's a disaster to you? 0?
A 1 to a 0 to a 1, where people don't even get what they paid.
Yeah,
where people don't get what they paid for. You know that WotC has to issue something to cover their ass. You know that was. I mean that's it's got to be a scale, and I'd say this is definitely less than desirable, and they need to straighten their shit out. I mean it's bad for many people. Many people that didn't get anything, I'm sure they're going to say this was a effing 0. You know, I waited 5 hours, took a day off.
That's a phenomenal
It's very
point.
bad.
You make a really good point on that. Is my attitude would certainly be drastically different if I didn't get to spend exactly the amount for the exact products I wanted. For me, it was 2.5 hours of like, man, I really hope this queue gets moving. Things are breaking down. I mean, I went out, had lunch with a couple of friends. I had a great time while I was waiting. And then I got all of the things I wanted. Sucked that the arcane signets I had to get on the secondary market. But I don't think that this was a bad showing, in my personal opinion, because of the selection of cards, not just in the main set, but the bonus ones. I think this was a phenomenal home run, way better than all of the extra life and pixel perfects and the freaking basic land secret layers. Like, there's a reason that people didn't get enough of this, is because they really wanted it.
Those signets are down to $50, by the way.
I did try very much to, like, even on our show weeks ago when we first saw this, I was like, yeah, this is one I think people are going to want to get their hands on. And it's unfortunate that people took the day off. They were there on their lunch break and couldn't stay any longer. You know, those people really got hosed. You know, the ones that went through extraordinary means, just like me with Lorcana, right? Like, I went to Gen Con. I took a day off of work and drove around all of Northeast Ohio. Got nothing on release day. You know, I got nothing pre-release. You know, I got basically nothing at Gen Con.
If you're watching us live, let us know your point position on this recent release. Out of 10, what is your score for the Marvel Secret Lair release? Hit us in the comment section.
I agree with the card selection and the secret lairs themselves. I'm going to rate it very high, at least an 8 out of 10 for the overall secret lair. I think excellent cards. The artwork is fantastic. The bonus cards are interesting. It's not just. Can I drop an F-bomb yet?
I already did.
Oh, okay.
It's only in the first minute.
It's not a fucking sliver for a bonus card again.
Dude, the most out of place slivers too. Like it was like you actually got a sliver, just like, ow, damn, I got a sliver.
So you rated a 6 overall, Twiddler. So I'm going to say execution was very poor, 2 to a 3. The cards are I'm going to say 8 to 9. I think the artwork's excellent. The card selection is on point. I would say that the secret lair itself is fantastic.
I think
the execution was garbage.
The biggest miss I've heard from people about the secret lair, execution of the sale itself, and Black Panther. Like I think nobody wanted to pick that guy in gym class.
I don't know. He was the lowest quantity foil from the get-go. He was the first one to almost sell out. Well,
but then they changed their mind, and that was a farce to watch. Yeah, he sold out. Wait a minute, no, he's not. It's back again. Then he was like the last one. Anyways, but
yeah, it was really weird.
Speaking about content, we have something interesting that I happened to catch. It's been a very busy week for me, but I did happen to catch up on some news. And I don't know exactly where I saw it, but it was an interesting thing. If you want to share it, Pat, that I saw regarding the Marvel Secret Lair. So this is something interesting to know. I don't know if I can make it any bigger. I can try, and I'll just scroll through it. So if you pay strict attention, these are all of the bonus cards. I'm not going to show the artwork here just because that's not what's important. But look at the card numbers we have here, starting at 863, 64, 65, 66, 67. Then we get down to Abundant Growth, 870.
Yeah, there's a little gap there. That's interesting.
Where's 868 and 869?
They forgot to count.
That would be amazing, but it certainly leaves for some intrigue. It leaves a little bit of room there, because if you read the text, the notes next to the Abundant Groot. Oh, damn it. Next to the Abundant Groot, it says extra rare bonus card. Are there extra rare bonus cards?
Maybe.
I mean, not trying to be too much of a tinfoil hat, but it caught my eye, and I'm like, I want, because there's a lot of these still out in the mail, folks. I just literally got my mail notification today. Made me a bit nervous. Still don't have a delivery date, but these are arriving. I saw just in general, most of them said they were starting to arrive between like the 12th and the 15th. It sounds like you got yours a little early, Pat. I know others already have them in hand. But I think we might see some more secret.
Oh yeah, what's the secret lair? The secret lair might be one of the numbers. It is 908, so that ain't it. Good call, but it ain't it.
Do you know what the arcane signet number is? Maybe that's in here.
The arcane signet is 908.
Oh. Okay. I don't know what's in there. I don't know if it's just a whoopsie.
And it looks like
that card's going off the rails.
Looks like singles are still going gangbusters too.
I'll be honest with you.
Storm.
This is just the regular version.
Oh no, that's the whole drop. Okay. Oh no, maybe it's not.
No, this is for just the single.
And the non-foil one at that.
Yeah. Which is one of the things I specifically chose for my perch. And holy moly, she's selling too.
Yeah, people are saying these are going to go down. I hate to disagree with folks, so I don't want to introduce FOMO out there. I think there should be a little, what do you want to call it? There's going to be a leveling out. Some are going to go up, some are going to go down, right? I think some of these are going to only get more expensive, and some of these are going to get a lot cheaper. I don't know why this guy's going through the roof. I don't think he's secretly
stronger than you think. He actually is pretty strong. I don't like him, but he can do some dirty things.
Yeah, and he has like a doubling ability, and you could double that, right? Sneaky commander damage. He's cheap, sure.
And then, I mean, if prices hold at this point,
what's Black Panther at?
I was going to do him last, just like everybody else.
Well, he is last, right? Is there one more?
Wakanda.
No, you don't have Captain America yet.
43. Oof.
Yeah. Well,
he is the weakest.
This card alone, if you sell it for that price, minus your shipping and handling, it's almost covering your entire secret lair, which is what's nuts about all of this.
Yeah, but he's the only thing in the secret lair that's worth it, really.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, everything is just gone through the roof.
Well, and here's the thing. As we get deeper and deeper into the world of Marvel over the coming year, I think some of these are going to go even higher.
Yeah, it looks like double to triple is the range, minus the one outlier. I did find a secret lair that I don't know that any of us would have wanted, but it was canceled. I think it's like the first secret lair that I've ever seen that shows on their site canceled. After Pat's done checking Commander's plate, I'll show it.
Well, that's in the Iron Man.
It's the wrong one.
I think it's still at like $30 for that one as well. So across the board, it's an incredible price jump for all of the singles, and it's just kind of mind blowing for what it's. Whoa.
Apparently they were going to try to sell a Secret Lair hatchet.
Oh yeah. They said that they canceled that. Yeah.
It says at the last minute, our legal department has asked us not to sell hatchets. Unfortunately, they are unwilling to approve bladed instruments as official Wizards products, regardless of intended use.
I mean,
that makes a lot of sense.
How did they get through R&D? You know what I mean? How did
I want one now? Now that I know that like nobody can get it, can you imagine if these make it their way out? Because they're probably going to give them away to employees, so these are going to make their way out to the public slowly.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And that makes it even better. I want it now.
I'll be honest. I think they'll destroy these.
Nah, why would they do that? They can give them to employees for free.
They might give them. They're not going to give them to just any. Oh, here, mailroom Bob. Yeah. It's maybe like the CEO and a couple other people like Mark Rosewater.
Secret Lair.
Why not? Because of what I just said. Legal reasons, man.
There were probably like a couple proof of concept prototype,
right?
Maybe, manufacturer specs, but I doubt that there are more than like 20 of those.
It's not on eBay, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to find those.
Yeah.
And yes, now you're starting to get into the collector mindset that I always talk about.
Hey, Isabel.
Welcome, wandering viewer. Hopefully you like talking about games and geeky stuff, because that's basically what we talk about here. We're core around Magic the Gathering. We're talking about the biggest hype right now, which is the Secret Lair that dropped this week. So if you're into Magic, please feel free to comment on your thoughts about the Secret Lair there, Isabel.
And so far, it's looking like 80% of people think that the Marvel Secret Lair was in fact a disaster. 4 out of 5 votes saying not so hot.
And I get that. Magic the Gathering. And I'm not sure what you're referring to, which Magic. But thanks for joining us either way. Give us a thumbs up. I understand that there's going to be a lot of emotions around that, right? And I hope for many people's sake that the prices do drop, though I don't really see that, right? I think that it's not one that people keep talking, hopefully, that they're going to reprint this. There's going to be another printing of the Marvel Secret Lair. I don't see that ever happening. Yeah, I think that's a very, very low chance that they print that, print it again. Now, what I do suspect is that we're going to see quite a bit more of this through the coming year. I don't know what it's going to look like for the Final Fantasy Secret Lair. I expect there to be a Secret Lair for that. If they don't, that would be shocking to me.
Oh, right. I mean, if there's another opportunity like this, I don't know if I've looked down the barrel of a year of Magic the Gathering products and thought, wow, there's probably going to be stuff I'm going to buy. I mean, the last couple of years, it's definitely been waning as far as my purchase schedule. But now things are definitely turning around a little bit more. And
let's talk about that. Because I've thought the same thing, and I don't think the three of us have even talked about this behind the scenes. So you guys are going to get we're not even going to save it for the after show. We're just going to do it raw right here, right now, about the coming year. I agree with you, Pat. You guys know how much I've been $0 Bob, which I haven't done yet, for a given year. Now, I'll tell you right now, most of it, I'm not interested. But because Miss Sherry Vegas is a big Final Fantasy fan, as you saw when you were here, Pat, that's definitely on my radar. There could be secret lairs involved with that she would like, maybe commander decks she would like. The set itself, that's a full set, right?
Yeah, I believe they're getting the whole deal.
Right. And then with the Spider-Man, with the success that they've rolled out so far, if they stay in line with that and the art looks just as good, I'll bet you there's going to be secret lairs, commander decks. And the only thing that's going to really piss me off is if the play boxes. So I'm sorry, Matt, I may take you up if you have room for some play boosters on those sets. Might even, I'll have to hold my tongue because, she's listening. But there may be more things that I may purchase this coming year. So I don't know what my budget's going to be, but certainly those two products. What are you guys looking forward to this year?
I mean, obviously, Final Fantasy is pretty big. I don't really care about Spider-Man, to be honest, but I'll keep an eye on cards that are good for Commander. Obviously, Aether Drift is weird. I don't know. The name sounds strange, but if it's spacey, I'm cool. If it's like Speed Racer, I'm not. Judging by the picture, it doesn't look spacey. It looks kooky, funky, weird, goblin, like Speed Racer situation.
Mad Max meets Kaladesh.
Yeah, I don't know. Edge of Eternity sounds cool.
Yeah, another space set. Yeah, for sure.
So, is it safe to say, Matt, that you're not planning a zero budget for Magic products this year?
I mean, it's never zero. I've probably spent, well, minus your Secret Lair purchase, I've probably spent more than anybody on the channel so far this year.
Yeah, I
went to every pre-release so far. I went to the pre-release yesterday for the foundations. The beginner's kit with the click down wheel sold out very quickly. My LGS was saying
people love that stuff.
Yeah, I went 3-0, by the way. I stomped. I've been to 4 pre-releases with David and Nate. We've never faced each other, and this pre-release I faced both of them. I faced David in the second round and Nate in the third round, and I went 6-0. I stomped everybody. It was great. I went.
Did you get any kind of like special card for winning?
I got an extra pack. You get a pack per win. There's no like special winning prize for winning, going undefeated. But so I got for $30, I got the pre-release kit, which was 6 packs, and then I got an extra 6 packs for winning 3-0. So 12 packs for $30 is pretty good. And I got my packs are pretty good too. I got Liliana Horde General, Dread Horde General. I got the new Coma. I got.
Did you get the new dragon?
No, David did that.
Double damage dragon.
Yeah, David got him.
Nice.
I did not. But yeah, I got a few. I got a few goodies.
And for me, I've got to say, I am surprisingly excited for the Spider-Man stuff coming out. My nephew's a huge Spider-Man fan, so pretty much anytime I go back home, I see that guy, and his entire room is just Spider-Man from literally the ceiling to the floor, between like floor mats and like posters on the ceiling. Kid loves that stuff. So this is possibly a route to get one of my family members into playing a game I've loved for years. Along with that, I enjoy Spider-Man well enough. The games are wicked fun, especially the new ones Sony's been putting out. Killer stuff. And same thing, Aether Drift and the Edge of Eternities could be really interesting sets. I think some of the space stuff that they didn't quite explore in Infinity, which didn't have the best reception for me, I think would be really interesting. And we've also got an Unnamed Universes Beyond product for the end of 2025. So there's a lot on the plate, especially when you start looking at Secret Lairs as another addition to the purchasing, lineup as well. So I've got to say, I'm pretty interested in it. It seems like it's going to be a fun year. And one of the things I noted as I was going through getting prepped up for the show today was the products I'm looking forward to the most in the coming year are not standard Magic-like products.
Well, that's because 50% of the products aren't Magic next year. Literally half. Well,
on that note,
but it's because of it.
It's
because they aren't Magic.
Yeah, this past year, I think one of the most interesting products that they put out for me was probably Bloomborough. I liked the cutesy little animals, but outside of that, everything that they chose to do with the Magic brand, I wasn't really in for. So now it's interesting that it's the same game, but they're going very Weiss Schwarz with it, where they're just taking in every product every IP that's popular, and they're trying to do something with it. And I mean, as far as numbers go, I think they're freaking doing good.
Wow, it's kind of hard to fail with Marvel. But yeah, we'll see. Marvel products.
I mean, they crushed it with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings was fantastic.
I mean, Fallout, they did really good with all of
Fallout
that.
Was fantastic.
Warhammer 40K.
Yeah, great.
And
I don't know about Doctor Who. Do we know the numbers on Doctor Who? I've not heard really one way that it was very mediocre.
Better than people had thought it would. Way better than I thought it would.
The cards are good, but I heard that people they really didn't like Doctor Who. Like, I don't know. There seems to be like a stigma about it. And anytime I watch like a podcast or like a channel doing like a video, they talk about like they're like, yeah, we all know about the Doctor Who disaster. I'm like, was there a disaster? I don't actually know.
Well, actually, funny enough, one of the big regrets that because I was in such a poopy pants mood about Magic, I missed the secret lair that I really would have bought for friends in a universes beyond, I guess you could call it, the Princess Bride secret lair.
Yeah,
I didn't even know there was one until it was like, oh, shit,
I didn't know either.
That. And then because I have friends that are big into the Princess Bride, they don't really play Magic, but it would have made a cool gift right in that $40 range. It's $160 secret lair now to buy. And I'm like, oh, damn. Like, well, that's a bit out of our price range. It's not like it went up like $10-20. It was like, oh shit, that thing got expensive quick.
There's a secret lair right now that I'm actually surprised.
The Monty Python, you have to admit, did extremely well. So I agree with you, Pat, that I think that for now the soup du jour is definitely, I like that.
Well, this secret lair is weird that it's not sold out, and I actually might pick up. Yes, okay.
That's
so here's
the first time I've ever seen a discount.
Well, that's what's more weird about it, that it's not sold out. So the reason why it's discounted is because of this card right here. This is misprinted. It says this is the normal coma, but it says at the beginning of your upkeep, create a 3/3. It's not that. It's at the beginning of every upkeep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was one of their like pre-release texts.
What's the ruling on that if you play this at a tournament?
It's Oracle text to be correct.
Okay.
Yeah, they released a little thingy over here.
Well, then that actually will end up being one of the more valuable collector pieces is a misprint.
Yeah, it says it's no. God damn it! What is it? All right, it's no secret that the haunted halls can change, but this particular change wasn't by design. The card Coma Cosmos Serpent in the Monsters Magazine drop has the misprint replacing each upkeep with your upkeep. The Oracle text remains intact, remains accurate. Please enjoy a $5 discount on this drop. It's on the house. So I was thinking, I'm like, how is this not sold out? Like people love misprints. Like you would think that this would sell out immediately because like it's a misprint and it's cheaper.
Yeah, I might have to buy some more. I'd like to address. Can we bring up Isabel's question there?
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure how to answer that. So the first thing I'd have to know, Isabel, are you familiar with Magic the Gathering or TCGs, tradable card games in general? I hope you've heard of Magic the Gathering. It's a pretty big IP out there. But these are what are called secret lairs. If you haven't been involved in it for a long time or you're not that deeply involved, secret lairs are special sets of cards that they come up with that you can't buy at a local game store or at Walmart or typically on Amazon until they hit the secondary market, meaning somebody else has already purchased it. And they have just a few cards in them, so you know what's in them. They're not random packs like regular Magic or TCG. So you basically know what's in there. They usually have one secret card, and usually it's not a big deal. Well, they just signed a partnership with Marvel to start using their IP, as you see on the card behind me. That's Baby Groot from the Marvel universe on a Magic the Gathering card. And so it really falls more in like the collectability aspect of it. I mean, they're playable cards, but the bigger hype is, to get cards that you like the appearance of. So these cards can have very different art in different printings. And these are just skinned in Marvel art for these secret lairs. So I hope that kind of explains it, because secret lairs is a very long discussion, exactly how they work, and that they're directly for sale by WotC, and the shipping and handling is handled by a separate company called ScaleFast. There are many different facets to it. This one had a limited print run, which means they only had X amount, and once they sold out, it's gone. You can't get it unless you go buy it on the secondary market, meaning from other people on sites like TCG Player or eBay. So that's a lot of information to unpack in a very small amount of time. So I'm sorry if that doesn't really address your question. Wow, feel like
while you were chatting, I bought 3 non-foils and 1 foil.
I may buy a couple, but I just don't know. I think Christmas time is right around the corner. Yeah, it's cool. I think it's interesting. Not one that
it's
really.
Very rare that they do misprints and then they just
Sure.
say, well, it's already. It has to already be printed or something because they can't fix it. Like that feels like a really simple fix. If it's not already printed, then why can't they just fix it?
And why would they discount it? But
exactly. Yeah.
So here's two things about that. Number one, you realize by buying it, that's not a quick flip. That's a hold on to it for a few years.
Many years. Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
At a minimum. Secondly, I like that sort of readable, almost like a comic book art style, and that's what I'm hoping to see in the secret layers this year, especially surrounding Marvel. Is either like, did you guys see the comic books that they gave at the Comic-Con that had the Magic the Gathering card looking cover?
No,
there's a couple of them. They're very expensive. So. Yeah, if you look up the Comic-Con Magic comic books, maybe it'll have it on there. Marvel Magic comic books. Anyways, what I hope to have is that they have like comic book cover. Weren't there already comic book covers? I want to say there was a secret layer already that had a comic book looking cover. I may be wrong.
That'd be interesting.
But I think that would be very cool. Set. And just like I'm always a fan of those ones that are like movie poster art, you know, like they did for the oh gosh dang it, Midnight Hunt.
The Midnight Disaster double feature.
You remember the secret layer that came out then that had like the movie poster art that I thought that the double feature was going to have because that's what they had on the cover of the box, and then didn't. So hopefully we'll see. Like I would love to see like a movie poster art for like the Amazing Spider-Man, maybe like one of the original ones. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and there was a Storm one. I couldn't get in high enough definition to make it worthwhile to share.
So what I hope to see is basically that in a secret layer.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like if they just took that exact image and put it in a secret layer and put like the casting cost up top, I'd be all for that.
Yo, what up, Time Capsule?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and again, you know, exactly like you were saying, Bob, incredibly readable. And on that same note, every single card out of every secret layer for this recent release, all incredible artwork and very legible. You know what you're getting. Even with like the Lord of the Rings movie posters, they're so groovy that I have no idea what they're saying on them.
They're horrible. The Lord of the Rings poster cards are terrible.
The psychedelic posters.
Yeah, you can't read shit on that card.
They're too cool for their, own good.
Well, I'd rather them just have no text.
It's possible, Jimmy.
They might be trolling, but if we don't understand the concept, we wouldn't be able to explain it to somebody else. So it's good, they're fact checking us. I like that.
Even if they're trolling, that's got to be the best troll I've ever seen. There was one earlier that was definitely a troll.
The one earlier that I had to ban, that's not even really it has to be a troll. That must be 13-year-old.
Movies about gladiators, like that kind of troll is just ass. But these are at least reasonable questions that, you know what, somebody.
No, Bob probably didn't even see the one I banned.
He was like, I voted. And
I saw it. I didn't comment on it. I saw it. At any rate, what I'm saying is the questions that Isabel was asking there, that's a reasonable question to try to answer, and hopefully it shows that we have at least some magic knowledge.
Right.
Some of the content creators I watch, I'm like, that's not true at all. What the F are you saying?
Yeah, we're just three random fucking guys talking about random stuff on the internet that is just being shown up in your feed. If you're interested in what we're saying, it's cool. If you don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah. So I hope I answered it adequately, regardless.
Don't worry. If you're not into secret layers, we're going to talk about farming simulators soon enough. So just hold on.
That's the mildest troll I've ever seen.
I'd be the weirdest troll ever, like the nicest one I've ever seen. But thanks for
voted in our poll and left.
Got us.
We've got 8 votes at this point. 75% are saying yes, it was a disastrous release for the Marvel Secret Lair. 25% of people are saying no, that it went well. I didn't vote, but that's my opinion. So
and it hasn't been a disaster that I thought would be.
I'm mixed. Like part of it, the execution, disaster. The lair itself, fantastic. So I don't know how to rate it. Like you'd have to break it down into categories, I guess, for me, because then I guess I'd have to go with
more.
I think 5 or 6.
I wish I'd gotten more. I think that is definitely a good signal of my opinion on it.
Well, I mean, after the fact, sure, but in the moment when you're like, Jesus, I can't get any, you know, you're just
like that was
grateful to get whatever you get.
I was worried about getting any, but I should have just put the same amount I should have doubled my order, because at this point, you know, as one of those Timmy Flipper scalper pieces of junk on the internet, I am.
Oh yeah, I wish I would have bought 5 of everything.
Like, I'm looking at it now. I was just looking at the Storm Secret Lair non-foil sealed. It's $199. Like, yeah. I am super excited at the idea of 4xing my.
You know it's so weird. Both of you guys, if you had bought the amounts that I bought, you'd be flipping them. I have no intention of flipping them.
Yeah, the amounts you bought make no sense. They make zero sense. Why did you buy the quantity you bought if you didn't intend to sell any of them?
I like them.
But that makes zero sense. You just need one. What do you need more than one for? Especially if you're not even open them.
I always want to have some sealed. And if one of the cards, especially in the Iron Man, that I want to get 4 of in a deck, then I want to have them available. Additionally, as many commander decks as we have, I don't want to be swapping them out. Plus, the Iron Man, I don't think my daughter's going to watch this. She's big into Iron Man, and she's getting one of them for Christmas. So, I like the cards. Most of the cards that I liked were in. I got 4 copies total of Captain America, 2 foil, 2 non. I got 7 total copies of Storm. I got 10 total copies of Iron Man, and I got 2 total copies of Wolverine. I got 0 total copies of Black Panther.
I got one of everything. That was just the minimum requirement to get the Arcane Signet that I didn't even get.
So I was debating getting more, but remember I told you I'm doing between 1,000 and 1,500. I was debating on doing 1,500, and if I had gone 1,500, it would have been more Storm and more Captain America. I really don't know that I would have gotten more Wolverine, though he's going off the rails. Maybe I would have got 2 each.
I think that's one of the like big things about this Secret Lair is across the board there are phenomenal selling points. Each Secret Lair has a mechanically unique card, and pretty much every Secret Lair also has like a banger additional card. As much as like I don't care for Wolverine, no, it's powerful, I get it, but it also comes with the Ozolith. Like that alone is worth.
Yeah, but it hasn't really had a reprint, and it once it does, that card's gonna.
Oh yeah. Right?
So the Ozolith is not going to stand up to a reprint.
It might.
Nah.
It's one of the highest decks on EDH Rec.
Exactly, but you only need 1 copy, right? And if they give it a meaningful reprint in another set,
you only need 1 copy per deck, but that could go in like, I mean, out of Matt's like decks. 12 decks, I bet like 30% of them, 40% could use an Ozolith. Most people,
almost none of mine.
I only use it in one of my decks.
Oh, I mean, personally, I don't screw around with 1/1 counters because it's just so much work. Like miss triggers much
exactly, and that just makes it even more of a headache.
Yeah, but other people love it.
I don't even like my Tulane deck, which isn't technically a 1/1 counter deck, but it's got Scute Swarm, and that could just make your mind melt.
Bro, yeah. And now there's like a new blue Scute Swarm for spells, which is super fun.
I'm not going to drop names, but some of the people that we've played with on Spell Table, when I watch them fiddle fuck around with counters, I just want to poke my eyeballs out. I'm like, oh my God, stop it. Just stop. I hate it. Go away. Don't ever bring a counter deck again. You know, and the Ozolith just multiplies that. So
it does make
it
more
for fun, not serious.
I take it back. I think it might actually be in 2 decks. It might be in Animar, and it might be in the Dinosaur deck.
Cool.
Indominus Rex.
That's just my opinion. What do I know? I don't think it's going to stand up well to a reprint.
As long as I don't keep reprinting it, I think 1 is okay.
Okay, I think it's already had 1. Clearly, it just had a Secret Lair 1, and it and a popular one at that sold out. So they're going to hit the market, and then you're going to have. That's what I'm saying. 1 more reprint. What do you want to bet it's going to be in one of the Marvel sets?
I mean, that's what's interesting. Is
it probably doesn't need a reprint. The lowest one's $16. It's probably fine.
I wonder I've
They
seen a
kept
lot of
printing
discussion about
Smothering
this.
Tide when it did that.
You know, some of these cards, now that they've gotten rid of the list, which was previously where they would reprint in universe these mechanically
They
unique
didn't
cards.
get rid of the list. They changed it.
Yeah.
It's called a special guest now.
Yes. But I'll say this about the special guest. It's better than the list. Would you guys agree with that?
I dig it.
I think it's a better version of the list. So them saying they got rid of the list, horseshit. Those cards have nothing to really do with the set. They're not legal in whatever format they're printed in.
Now,
they're
this
weird-ass
is
cards.
a great discussion, and I'd like to continue down it a little bit here. We've had a hard time getting cards reprinted on the list or universes within. Now we're seeing this secret lair come out, mechanical unique cards, absolute sellout, right? Phenomenal movement as far as the singles go. I'm wondering, we're seeing a Spider-Man set coming up. Superheroes love doing crossover stuff all the time. That's a perfect spot for these to go into. I wonder if we're going to see these next year.
They don't have to be the exact same card, just like they did with, even though they said they weren't going to. I don't trust that. All right, time capsule. Thanks for joining us. So what I suspect is that they're just going to flip-flop like what Matt said earlier. We can't trust shit that they say. Like that, literally, they'll say one thing and yeah, whatever. It just next week, not so much. And what I suspect we're going to see, it's just like they did with the Stranger Things Secret Lair, and that's the only one I know of so far. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody out there. Those are the only ones that I saw them make alternate versions with the same mechanics of God damn it, Stranger Things. Have they made alternate versions of The Walking Dead? I don't think so. Have they made?
I think they have. I think they have.
Yeah, tell me what card they are. Have they made alternate versions of all the mechanically unique stuff that they've done in Secret Lair? I don't think so.
Yeah, the Walking Dead cards did get reprinted as universes within. Yeah.
Yeah, he's called Neve Black Talon is. Oh no, that's Danitha. Why did this come up as? I swear he did.
What's Lucille? Anyways, doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, I don't care what they say. They could absolutely put the special guest as a reskinned version of Storm or Wolverine or any of the other
40K. It looks like, but it was a secret lair. It was another secret lair. Wait, what?
Okay, my point being, it's not well known for sure, but they could shove anything they want in those special guest slots, right? They don't have to follow any of the mechanics of the set that they're released in. They don't have to follow any of the other rules. They just have to get an artist like, Mark Teaton or Mark Poole, or any of them. I don't know which ones are on the
get me to use ChatGPT and then edit it into a card frame.
So it was the list slot in Wilds of Eldraine is where you got to reprint.
As what?
Rick is Graymond Avacyn Stalwart.
I didn't even hear
and
that.
And then Lucille is Gisa's favorite shovel.
Wow. I never heard anybody even talk about that. That would make a great short. Did you know Walking Dead Secret Lair was finally reprinted in Wilds of Eldraine? Here are the cards. Like, that would make a pretty good short. Anyways, I didn't even know, but I don't even really care. They didn't get a meaningful reprint at a minimum. And I think that always the Walking Dead ones of those versions of the card will probably maintain the premium.
Yeah, there was Gregor the Shrewd Magistrate, which was the Skulk. What was that guy? The Chinese guy's name. I don't remember all the. It's been too long since I've seen The Walking Dead. But yeah, all of them are reprinted. It's just they're on the list, and which I think is one of the best ways to reprint it is with the list and the special guests. So that's what I'm happy with.
Soaking of Woe. I'm assuming that he's trying to say, speaking of Wilds of Eldraine, you guys hear there's a price spike on
Soaking of woe?
War
Yeah.
of,
Wow.
No.
Fiddler, need to put down that bottle. But I have not
Graymond
seen that.
Avacyn is $57, by the way.
Wow. So
Yeah.
that's got to be more than Rick.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, Rick. Well, no, Rick's 42 foil. $40 normal.
I think I have 6 copies of that.
Twiddler speak. Yeah. Well, and that's an interesting thing. I think that it might be worthwhile for anybody that's gotten their hands on these recent Marvel Secret Lairs. It might be smart to hold on to them for a while, because there is no phenomenal avenue to get these reprinted again anytime soon, and it'll probably cook for a while. We'll see how much actual inventory hits the market.
Speaking of cooking, Foundations is doing exceptionally well. Way better than I thought it would do. It hasn't released technically yet, but I've been keeping an eye on it. And talking to my LGS yesterday, he was saying that like he's surprised how well it's doing. He's like it's basically a core set, so he's like it's doing good. He sold out of all of his product with the click wheels, which we knew those would sell out quickly.
Yeah.
He said that the print run on the collector boxes are very tight, and those boxes are still 280 plus. I actually bought 2 of them because I'm like, for the price I couldn't pass it up. Rudy did his sale. It was $269 shipped for.
Are you gonna sit on them or crack them? Are you making 12 shorts?
No, I'll probably just sit on them. They're only one-time prints, and because it'll be in print within 5 years or 4 or 5 years for the other stuff, it kind of makes sense to sit on them and have them be like a. I think what's going to happen is like people are going to continue to open them, and then like maybe they'll like forget about that they exist for like a year or two, and then like, oh yeah, it's still being printed, and then like, oh, what about those collector boxes? Anybody got any of those? I don't know. That's my theory.
I mean, the collector boxes, I get it, but I'm just going to tell you that these prices won't hold. It's a 5-year print run.
Yeah.
The boxes are still doing really well too. The play boosters are 133 still.
Yes, you're talking about during the hype period and nothing else really out there. This is what I keep saying. Let's see how they're doing 2 years from now, and when they're still in print.
But like you said, it's going to be in print for 5 years. So in my head, I'd be like, this should like not do well at all. This should tank. This shouldn't hold the price at all.
This is what I keep talking about. That Timmy's do right now. Not most people can't think past today. That's why people that have discipline make money, because people today, they're just going to spend it. They're going to do it now. And this is what the whole, experiment with the money that's invested in the stock market versus what an average Magic player spends in a month, which is less than a play booster. And we'll see how it does in 5 years versus somebody that buys a box of play boosters every month for the current play booster. So at any rate,
Pat, did you add your box?
I'm not sure what you mean. You lost track of the theme there. We're still on Magic, just different aspects of Magic and different sets and things. It is a confusing to that point for somebody that's brand new. So if you're brand new and not familiar with Magic, it is an insanely complex hobby. Not just the cards and not just play, but figuring out what to buy, when to buy, what the prices should be.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is why we're here. I have 30 years of experience with it, and I've been in and out, and I don't know everything for sure. I love Pat's video. He has a short. You should watch it. It's called "We Don't Know Shit," and that means every talking head out there really can't wrap their head around it. I doubt WotC even has their head well wrapped around their own products. So
good Lord, no.
It's insanely complex. But it's a wonderful thing to spend time in to learn. It's fun. It's expensive as shit. So if you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, not a hobby to pick up.
It's cheaper than some. I mean, probably cheaper than
proxy
golf.
Cheaper than bowling. Cheaper than golf. I mean, a new bowling ball is like $150. You gotta they're coming out with those like fucking every Wednesday.
Cool brain.
My lovelies.
There are so many aspects to the hobby, Isabel, that it's crazy. You got people generally divided up into 3 main categories of the hobby. You have the players, the collectors and the investors. And I think as Pat and I were in a discussion while he was here on vacation, that's a very gray line for a whole lot of people where they're a little bit of all of it, right?
Yeah. You get like 100 points to divvy up between those 3 categories, and it's never 100 points in one category. Everybody's got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I think
not only that, it shifts. Like you can keep taking like, maybe I'm 60%, collector today and 10% a player and 20% an investor, and you're just going to change those numbers all around all the time. But I agree with them. Like 100 points. It's definitely an attribute slider. Yeah. And you're not locked in, right? You can become more of a collector. You can become more of a player or more of an investor. But it's incredibly complex for a subject material, which is why I can't understand why so many of the
exactly
why so many of the content creators fall back on just the cracking packs and just limited content when there is so much to it. We do very, very little product opening comparatively. We talk a whole lot more about. Matt is our resident, excellent, card player. He's definitely the preeminent card player amongst the 3 of us.
Oh yeah,
I'm probably the biggest collector, and Pat's probably the biggest flipper.
Ghetto.
So which would fall into
he shouldn't even be flipping.
What's that?
I said he flips things he shouldn't even be flipping.
Yeah, right. That's why I'm like, I might wait to sell this.
Well, and to that point, you have Dual Brain, right? Dual Brain. One of his biggest shticks is going to flea markets, and I try to tune in on that every Sunday when I wake up.
This shit is so early on a Sunday,
but it's so dope. I like interacting with him live when he's out there walking around the flea market, doing the haggling, and I love watching that and his treasures that he finds. So it's such a deep hobby. There's so many different aspects that you can get into it, up to and including people that do the altars, people that do the I don't know what you want to call them, the tangential products with like play mats, or my buddy who doesn't play at all but makes some of the most dope deck boxes that you've ever seen. There are just so many aspects to the game that you could go down any one of these rabbit holes and spend a whole lifetime doing it. That's unfortunate, Dual Brain. I've tried to tune in on Sundays. Got mad at you that one Sunday I tuned in and you had like 1 minute left in the show. I was like, damn it. Woke up early just to catch 1 minute. But at any rate,
it's just for all the Magic the Gathering we get into and all the video games we play, pretty much none of us want to record arena content. Which
we tried. It didn't do well.
Yeah, I think it was Nate asked me yesterday. He was like, "You still do arena?" And I'm like, "I don't know, once every 6 months or so." I would do more on the channel if it did well, but it doesn't seem to do well, and it doesn't.
I actually play arena almost every day, but
it
would be boring to most people because it's just to stack resources, so that in case anybody else, like Mr. Llama, was playing on my account for a while. I think I've got him closet hooked on Magic again. Because you'll see him bust out with like a draft stream on arena every now and then. But I just do it just to grind, just kind of like part of a daily routine. We don't really do arena streaming. I don't think there's a lot to it. It wouldn't be interesting if people watch me play because I don't give a shit whether I win or lose. I just want to get my daily grind in and get my tokens and shit. And I have quite a bit.
Rather play Farming Simulator for like 6 hours on stream instead of playing arena. Like it doesn't. I don't know what it is. Like I could play over Spell Table, doing Commander raids. I could try and get in some random EDH group, get my ass kicked by Mindslaver and Pumpkin King. But when it comes to playing arena for length of time, like it's just there is no real interaction aside from the cards that you're playing on the table. And it's either you're winning because your deck's good, or your deck's good and their deck is just way better, and they just rope you the whole time. It's just a freaking mess. There's so many reasons not.
It's not an engaging way for me to play either. It's too antiseptic. It's not. There's no gathering in it. There's no personal interaction, and that becomes boring and stale really fast for me.
Just how fast could I beat Terraria? I bet I could beat Terraria in one like playthrough. Yeah, I could beat Minecraft in one stream. Easy. Fuck yeah.
I think our niche is more what we're doing right here, talking heads. And it's wonderful that we're not beholden to anybody for any like product placement. We get to say whatever the F we want. We get to talk about it, and we can talk shit about Magic when we feel it's time to talk shit. We can talk up about Magic when we feel it's time to talk up about it. We could talk about as a matter of fact, I think, Pat, I believe you have a product you want to introduce soon. But even the stipulation on that's going to be, hey, you're going to get a very real
that was exactly it. So I've been in talks with deck box manufacturer, video to come out hopefully soon enough, products on the way. But exactly as Bob said, in my first interactions with these guys when they reached out was, if I'm going to do a review on your product, 1, it's got to be 100% free. 2, it's got to be 100% honest. So I want to do everything we can to continue that line. If we're looking into suggesting anything to buy to you folks out there, we want to make sure that we're doing our best to vet it, that it's something we would want to interact with. Or if we have interacted with it, we want to make sure that our actual and honest opinions. So
I'll tell you one company that would, at least I think we would gel with. Matt and I are in 100% agreement about it. Matt, what product are you and I both 100% in agreement on?
Katanas.
You betcha.
I've already tried. I've tried multiple times.
Baby.
I'll keep trying.
I'll be honest, whether they become a sponsor or not, they're the best fucking sleeves in my opinion. Like, I just love playing with them. They're buttery. They don't jam up when you're trying to shuffle them. They're great sleeves. They last.
I would not buy their Cortex sleeves. They mark very easily. They shuffle very good.
Ones you got at Gen Con?
Yeah, they're like $9. They're like cheaper than the katanas normally. They're called
discount brand
Cortexes. Well, I mean, yeah, they're cheaper sleeves, but they mark so easily. I was doing the pre-release yesterday. I was using them, and I just kept seeing like nail marks in them, and I'm like, I don't mistreat my cards. I don't know where they're getting like these dings from, but they mark extremely easy. The normal katana sleeves are great. If you want like a very maybe they'll last like one draft. If you want to buy like katanas for a draft or something, and maybe they'll last a couple, you'll have some dings, and then you'll have to like replace those because they're like considered marked cards. Nobody really gives a shit at the pre-release probably, but in the higher tournaments, they can definitely ding you for marked cards.
Yeah, indeed.
But yeah, they're designed to be cheaper people wanted like a cheaper version of katanas, and they're good. They shuffle good. They feel great. It's just they mark easy. That's the only downside I've found so far with them.
I don't know. I'm going to be the Dragon Shield for a while. I came back from seeing you. I had a fucking stack of them, and I already had another set. So I've got 4.
Not bad. It's just for that price point, I'd rather have the katanas.
I like them. It's pretty much the only sleeves, I think, besides penny sleeves. It's the only ones I've ever bought. It's pretty much the standard for what most stores carry. So, I mean, they've always worked well.
I'll be honest. If I'm going for just generic sleeves, BCW.
Yeah, they're like $3 a pack. Like, they're pretty cheap if you buy them in bulk.
They're perfectly serviceable. They last long enough. There's no reason not to buy the BCWs for just like general. Like, I have, as you saw, Pat, I have a stupid amount of board games at my house. So besides, I don't know. You thought I had 1 million Magic the Gathering cards? I think it's probably closer to like 400,000 or 500,000. Oh wow, I might actually buy that.
Yeah, so I was thinking about, I was in the process of like looking to see how much the Foundations kit was in order to be able to like get the click wheel, because it was sold out of my LGS. Or I would have bought one of these. These are $52 for almost $60 with shipping. And I checked on Amazon, they're like $60. But then I checked on eBay, and for whatever reason, this one guy has 3 different listings, and I don't understand. One's for $684 plus shipping. And then the same guy has one for $864 plus shipping.
What's his ratings?
87, 100% positive. It's not like super, but like I don't know why he has 3 different versions, but $684 plus I think it's like $5 shipping, so it's $11.
That's a little sketchy.
It's eBay. What do you get with if as a buyer you can't lose. They will just refund your money. You literally can't lose. It's the seller has the most problems on eBay, to be honest. I won't never sell on eBay again. I had 2 different issues where as a seller you get no support. As a buyer, they immediately refund your money.
100%. Like as like the flipper guy on the channel, 100%. I've got like a 3-digit rating on eBay, and it took a lot of fuck ups to be able to get that far. There are a lot of returner issues. Definitely, it's all on the purchaser side. TCG Player, if you're selling cards, that is a phenomenal outlet. Not a sponsor, want a sponsor.
I've had no issues on TCG Player. I think maybe one where I like mislabeled a card. It was like supposed to be a one version, and he bought it, and it was like not the right version that I sent or something. It was like $1 difference, so I just refunded him the $1, and he was like, "I'm cool with that." I'm like, "All right, great."
What's really mind-boggling to me is eBay owns TCG Player.
Yeah.
So like the fee structure is the same. So like if you're making money on your sale, that's whatever.
Oh, Bob, if you want to go in on it with me, the shipping's the same if we buy multiple.
I just bought 10.
Oh.
Bob.
So and it gets
let
into
me buy one of those for $7.
What's that?
I said, let me buy one of those for $7. I don't have to buy it.
Right.
You bought 10.
You know, I don't sell things, bro.
I was just gonna say Bob doesn't sell shit, man.
I couldn't find the prop room to give you though. That upset me. I still don't know where they're at. And I bought those 8 prop rooms. I wanted to give them to you guys when you were here, and I'm like, shit, I can't find it. I'm all about giving stuff away, dude. And I'm fine with that. So you ask why, and maybe some of the people, if they're still with us from the earlier on in the show, when baller, you bought that much, secret lair. I'm far more apt to give them away. Like I said, one of them is going to be a gift to my daughter. I bought 4 Dungeons and Dragons, the ones that have the red box secret lair. Giving one to my brother.
To see the red box or no?
Huh?
Did you open it to see the red box or no?
No. I'm going to leave it for like a Christmas gift for my brother. The others are staying sealed. I might open one to put on the shelf.
That's what I was thinking. Have it just the red box as a display, because in the white box it sucks as a display, but in the red box it'd look cool.
Yeah.
So just open it enough to get to the red box.
You guys saw my sealed collection. Now you can't ever say, Matt, you haven't seen my sealed.
Yeah, I saw one time.
Saw one time.
I saw it one time.
Okay. But
one time is a joke that my buddies and I one time, like anything, like you're gonna try anything.
I'm adding. You guys saw the Duskmore Nightmare bundles that were on my
yeah. And one thing you just had was like
those are slowly making their way down here.
Hallways. It was just a Halloween themed item. It's like, wait, Bob's a nerd.
I think those are doing extremely well. Nope, they're not. No, they're not. My LGS said they sold out immediately, and he had to buy more.
But I mean, for those of you, if Isabel is still watching, see, you can interact with this hobby in many different ways. I know that Matt totally doesn't get how I interact with Magic. Like, it probably drives him absolutely crazy.
Because you're not a logical person in some aspects of it, so
none of us are. Like, none of us are, though. To his defense and my admission, none of us are.
I wish I could give you a better frame of reference, Isabel, without understanding Magic. It's very difficult to express it. I mean, you're 30 years trading into a hobby that's complex.
These little cards. Have you ever seen these?
It's Magic? Like Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon.
Yeah, it's like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, any trading card game. That's what we're talking about.
If you're looking for a single, if you're looking for a single, the game Magic. If you're looking for a single cohesive theme, we typically won't follow a very scripted single outline theme. We tend to do more stream of consciousness about topics, and some nights we get more into video games on one night or a board game. I really want to get into more like the Alien board game at some point. What do you guys both think about it?
I gotta say, that was surprisingly fun.
It made me want to play Xeno Shift.
Yeah, but I don't think you lived through either game, Pat. I think you died in both games.
No, the first game I died on like turn 2.
No, we stopped at the second game. Right?
No, Pat died.
No,
before
the second game I died right before the end.
Right before the end.
Yeah, but it was super
I did get.
fun.
It wasn't really a stomp because I got down to like 2 hit points, didn't I? I was like really close to death, and then I healed them away. But yeah, I mean,
all right. Well, we're here every Saturday. Isabel, thanks for stopping by. Give us a thumbs up if you at least enjoyed it. I'm sorry I didn't do a better job of explaining, what we're talking about. And
once I showed the card, they were like, "Oh yeah, I can understand."
They're like, "Oh, I know what this is. I'm leaving."
All right. I'm trying to figure out what you guys are talking about. Now I know later.
Have a great night.
Bye. It's
Ooh,
like,
Mr.
it's that
Dudes.
game, the one that what's his name, the politician, the vice president, JD Vance.
Vance. Yeah.
Oh, it's that nerdy game that Vance played. I'm out. See
that guy.
That the thing I have the biggest problem with that is when he got a little bit of pushback from society. Oh, I stopped that when I was 15. Yeah, closet nerd. When do you want to bet he still watches Magic content or still has Magic cards?
I hope he has other things to do.
As a vice president, I'd be down with him being a game player and being a real human being.
No, well,
that would be nice. Real humans are nice to have.
Vice presidents don't do a lot. Newsflash.
Well,
they kind of just a stand-in for whenever the president can't get somewhere.
Yeah, but they can do stuff. They can help push legislation. They can go out.
No, they can't. Not really.
Everything has to go through the president, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can do a lot of the lifting. Like a great secretary. Like that's one of the things I've always found.
The vice president has a secretary.
No.
He's a decision maker. The other decision maker isn't there.
Being an assistant in a different type of way. There's like the right-hand man. And I think for so
Gary
long,
Vegas, you are not just a remotely good human being. You are a remotely and up close fantastic human being. Much better human being than I am.
No, I think for Vance to be a human being.
I got it. I get it.
Oh.
Just saying. She's an amazing human being. Definitely the better half of this pair. But I have my purposes. I got my uses. I'm good at some stuff.
Yeah, without the YouTube channel, I don't know, man.
Bob's hobby be if it wasn't for magic. Bob would just be wicked into wood carving, making like fly fish, like the little.
I do have a lot of woodworking stuff. I was showing you some of that, and I plan to do more at some point. But honestly, I'm actually looking at starting a second YouTube channel with my buddy Ryan on finance, investments, finance, retirement, 401ks, tax issues. I love you too, Sherry Vegas. There's plenty I can do in the finance space because there's so much sort of like bullshit misinformation and only addressing the Timmies. It's hard to get great information. Like you really got to dig in a lot of places if you're actually halfway attentive and halfway intelligent. Otherwise, it's just like, we'll just do the 4% plus interest rule. Like it's just maybe follow the general rule of thumb in finance if you're too lazy to go out and dig farther.
I get all my financial advice from Rudy. I just follow everything he says.
My God, that would be a nightmare.
I just go for that guy on CNN where he yells at the camera the whole time. Big fan of him.
The bald guy?
Yep, that's my man.
Chris something or other. I think his name is.
I'm just straight trolling anyways.
I got you. No, I watch a lot of that stuff, and I've got a fair amount of study into it over the last 10 years.
What is happening?
And I believe, like most other things, most other things, if you want to be good at it, it's not an instant win overnight. It's not like I was watching. I don't remember what his name is, but I think he's a One Piece artist. He's a Korean guy. He's like almost a savant where he can just go up to a big old empty canvas and just start sketching with an ink pen. It was freaking amazing. I think I would definitely buy Secret Layers from him. It looks like most of it's in like black and white ink. And he was absolutely utterly amazing. But one of the things that he said when he speaks publicly, because he does something that most people are just mind blown about. And he says they always talk about the end product and how it just looks amazing. I can walk up and just start sketching in front of a live audience and make a masterpiece. But what they don't see is the 6 to 12 hours a day I spend sketching for the last 30 years, to become good at it. And I think it'll be the same thing in finance, same thing in Magic. Matt has probably spent an insane amount of time looking at Magic, studying Magic, looking at card interactions, watching videos, doing lots of homework behind it. He's not great simply because, oh, look, I just tried this and now I'm great. I
watch a lot of content. I absorb. I try to learn from, watching Pro Tours and watching random Commander games and deck techs and researching on EDHREC and all kinds of other tools available. I've actually even made videos on the channel for those tools that I use, and it's up for you if you want to go find it. And of course, I play a ton. I've been playing TCG since like 13.
If you want to be good at anything, and it's just like being smart. I think lots of people are born with relatively close in a band of intellectual capacity, and people go, "Oh, gee, you're smart." Well, they don't see all the hours and hours you've studied, all the research material to be smart on a thing.
Practice
smart is an action.
Yeah,
it's not like, oh, look, he's just smart. No, every smart person I know, even the ones that are smarter than me, they put in more time than me. Some people it takes more time. Certainly, there are people that learn faster and people that learn slower. But many people just don't try at all. And they're perfectly intellectually capable. They just choose not to exercise it. It's like a muscle. So,
and speaking of people who are intellectually capable, we've got a live stream we do following this up, actually in just a couple of minutes here. So if you want to be a channel member, you can get access to a weekly channel member only live stream. So we've put the link down below. If you want to hit that up for 99 cents a month, you can get an additional 2 hours of content. And we change up the format a little bit. We don't do the vertical thing. We, go all horizontal, big screen on you. So if you want some more Cardboard Odysseys, check us out.
More wide.
Yeah, we get wider.
Well, we're about to wrap it up for this week. We've got about 1 minute left, folks. So if you got any questions for now, pop them in the chat. We'll try to address them in the next 60 seconds. If not, then subscribe and join us in the after show. What about you, Pat? You got any wrap-ups? So obviously this week was all about the Marvel Secret Lair. How fast will it fade from people's anger button?
Oh, man, I think this one's going to stick around for quite a while. I'm excited to get mine, and I'm going to hold on to it for a little while, make good, safe financial decisions, and kind of just be excited that I get any of it at all.
A 5-year plan.
What about you, Matt? You got anything else for this week?
I did Foundations pre-release. That was pretty fun. I did good. Happy times. And I guess I can talk more about the pre-release in the after show.
Sure.
Foundations is more surprising. It's better than I thought it would be. I intentionally didn't look at the set before the pre-release because I wanted to just kind of like, you don't have any choice as far as your pre-release packs. You just got 6 packs. You got to build a deck. So
right.
I'm like, it makes no sense to look at the cards.
If you want to hear more about the rantings that we have for that, and Benson, if you have a question and you need to have it answered, well, for $1 this month, you can come join us in the after show. Otherwise, you'll have to hit us up elsewhere or later. But for this week, thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Drop a like and a subscribe if you're catching this after the show. I have no socks on, so answered your question. There we go. Before he
got him. He's barefoot.
Got him. Thanks for stopping by, everybody.
Bye, y'all.